During the day, the winding passes of the Odisha Ghat Road are a standard commercial route, but at night, the dense forest closes in, turning the asphalt into a confined, unnatural path. Local folklore warns that navigating this stretch after midnight invites watchers who never sleep, entities that wait for a single traveler to lose their way in the mist. Tonight's case study explores why many drivers refuse to stop here and how the very geography of the Ghat Road seems designed to isolate and then consume those who enter it. At exactly midnight, veteran driver Raghu and his cleaner Suresh were crossing this forest in a heavy cargo truck surrounded by pitch-black timber. Suresh sat rigid, paralyzed by the feeling that something was pacing the vehicle, an invisible presence that stayed just out of the reach of the headlights. Raghu tried to rationalize the fear as mere forest jitters, relying on the heavy steel and glass of the cabin to act as a barrier against the outside world. But the isolating cold was already seeping through the vents, and the silence inside felt as heavy as the darkness pressing against the windshield. As the fog thickened, a woman in a stark white sari appeared in the lane, forcing the massive truck to a violent screeching halt. Suresh immediately panicked, begging Raghu to shift into reverse and flee before the figure could move. Raghu remained paralyzed in a trance-like stare, losing the critical seconds needed to drive away as the figure slowly began to lift its head. The woman's face was a ruin, empty, rotting sockets where eyes should have been, and a mouth torn into a bloody, jagged smile. Her piercing metallic shriek and sudden charge toward the cab ended any hope that this was a hallucination, forcing the two men into a desperate struggle for survival. Driven by Suresh's suffocating panic, they made a desperate stop at an abandoned, faintly lit dhaba, hoping the small pool of light would offer some protection. An old man sat in the shadows of the porch. Without looking up, he issued a single raspy warning. They needed to turn back immediately. As they hesitated, the old man's bones snapped, his arms stretching to unnatural lengths, while his skin tore open to reveal something else underneath. One elongated arm shot forward and lifted Suresh by the throat. Raghu swung a heavy iron rod with everything he had, causing the apparition to vanish into the night air. The immediate threat was gone, but the deep, bleeding claw marks on Suresh's neck proved that whatever lived on this road could inflict real physical harm. They reached a dilapidated stone bridge when the truck inexplicably lost all power, plunging the cabin into total, freezing darkness. The engine sat dead, but the silence was quickly replaced by the sound of children's laughter echoing from the ravine below. In the moonlight, dozens of dismembered Os children began crawling up the sides of the bridge, surrounding the dead vehicle from all sides. A mutilated child with no lower jaw pulled itself up to the driver's window, tapping a bloody stump against the glass while staring inside. Raghu closed his eyes and began violently chanting the Hanuman Chalisa, using the prayer as a desperate spiritual shield against the entities outside. The smaller spirits retreated from the chant, but a towering, disemboweled demon emerged from the fog, signaling that their struggle was far from over. At the first sign of sunrise, the monstrous entities vaporized into smoke, and the truck's engine suddenly sparked back to life. Raghu drove off the bridge with a sense of immense relief, believing his faith had finally brought them through the worst of the haunting. However, the cabin remained unnaturally silent. When Raghu turned to speak to his partner, he found Suresh sitting perfectly still, staring straight ahead. Suresh slowly turned his head. His eyes had turned solid white, and black blood dripped from his throat. He whispered, "The shadows never left." The darkness crossed the threshold, claiming a victim inside the truck's sanctuary, seconds before the final fatal crash into the forest. Raghu and Suresh vanished that night. Search parties found the shattered truck, but no trace of the driver or his cleaner remained. Drivers on the Odisha Ghat Road now tell stories of a phantom truck that eternally roams the mountain passes after midnight, operated by something other than men. This road continues to claim new victims, serving as a reminder to never stop for strangers and to never assume that a locked door can keep the darkness out.